guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Christina and this is Creations by Kirsty, and welcome to part 10. I can't believe we've made it 10 parts already in our Mystery Make series. We've made some really cool stuff so far and just slowly chipping away at those Pinterest boards, but let's go ahead. Let's see what we're making this time around. Okay, so some amigurumi. If you don't know, amigurumi is typically like a small hook, small, even thread sometimes, yarn. It's very tight, usually only done in like single crochet the whole time. And it's a great way to make stuffies because there's no spacing. That's the, kind of the whole point behind that style is there's no spacing in between things. So when you stuff it, things like that, then it you're not going to see it through. Like if you were to use like a 5mm hook and worsted weight yarn. But with that being said, amigurumi can be hard on the hands because it is so small. And we are trying to use what we got. When it comes down to my size 3, which is what it's calling for, it's a size 3 sport weight, fingerling weight, type yarn, I don't think I have the colors needed. And with this being a Coraline inspired doll, there's very specific colors needed because Coraline is very specific colors, like her bright blue hair. So I'm thinking, instead of doing a 1.2mm crochet hook, which is actually smaller than the hook that I just used in my last video, and using that 3 weight yarn, what if we used like a 4mm hook and some worsted weight yarn? It's going to be bigger, right? I mean, just off the chain, like that's almost doubling what's being expected. So the doll is going to be bigger. The gaps are going to be bigger, even doing it in single crochet. But I already know who this is going to go to. So that's not going to matter. I also already know that I have all of these colors in worsted weight. If you've seen any of my other crochet videos, you know our stashes well with the different colors needed. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll use a 4 hook and then we'll use some worsted weight yarn. And that's still going to make it pretty tight. Most worsted weights call for a size 5mm or an H hook. So going down to a 4, it's already going to make it a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter. And I'll just watch my tension as well to make sure I'm not leaving really big gaps in it for when it's stuffed. Another thing is, since we are going to be making it bigger, I probably won't put the wires through it. With amigurumi, because it is so small, this does have wires that you can add to it to help it stand, to help it be positionable. I'm not going to go through all of that. Everything else, I'm going to follow the same. I will follow the pattern just as if I'm making it with a really, really small hook and really thin yarn. We are just making it bigger. So let's get our colors picked out and make a Coraline inspired doll. Okay, so we do need a pretty hefty list of colors for the doll. I think there's about 5 or 6. And so here we go. As you know, I like to print them out when all possible so I don't have to sit on my phone all the time. So we need a skin toned, a dark blue, a indigo blue, which is going to be her hair, a yellow, orange, pink, light brown, and dark brown. And then safety eyes and things like that, we will go through that stuff once we get closer to needing those things. Those will be towards the end. So with that being said, let's grab the easy things off the top. So yellow, orange should be in this bin. So there's our orange and yellow. All right. Pink. Might be some pink in this bin. Doesn't look like it though. So let's go ahead and pull the blue bin out and watch everything run away. All right, so we need a dark blue. So just right off the bat, if you can see it, there's my dark blue. The indigo blue, so which is going to be her hair, I might have to use one of my skeins up top because I know I have it in like a full skein. So I'm not really seeing it in the bin. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I will pull that in a minute. Boop, stick that back in. And here is my whites, browns, blacks, all those fun colors. So we need a light brown and a dark brown. And I still need a skin tone and a pink. So let's start. Here's a dark brown. Here is a light brown. We still need skin tone and pink. Skin tone is so iffy because, you know, typically you don't want to go like white, because it doesn't look right, right? This is pretty skin tonish, but there is not a lot here. Now I was looking over the pattern. That's yellow. And that's yellow. Let's see in the top bins. I was looking over the pattern and let me throw all these up here. It seems that while we are actually making the doll, it's not like a whole body and then you add a shirt and add a pair of pants. They actually switch out the colors while you are going through the making of the body so that you don't run into all those things. Okay, so all we have left to pick is we need a pink and right there we go. And we need that indigo blue, which I think that's going to be perfect. So there we have it. We have our colors. Now we just got to get to making her. Oh, hey, yeah, me again. We didn't pick out a skin tone. You can't really make something if you don't have the things you need to make it, right? So this is my whites bin, whites, off-whites, yellows. I think what we're going to go with is this right here. This is a vintage Simply Soft. I wonder if it has the date on it. Sometimes that is so cool when you can actually see when it came out. Oh, I'm not seeing it. I wish it did. If I find it, I will totally let you guys know. This is Color Fisherman. They might not even make this anymore, y'all. Like I said, depending on how old this is. But I think that'll work. It's not, you know, you can tell it's not white. It's a little more on the yellow side, but I think that'll be just fine. So now I have all the stuff I need to actually do this. So now let's get to making. Hey guys. don't mind the roosters in the background. That's what happens when you live on a farm. So next day, right? And I didn't show you the first start of making the doll because I got a little nervous when I was reading over the pattern that it was going to be just an AI pattern. We all know, if you're in the crochet world at all, the AI patterns are going a little crazy and sometimes it's hard to spot. So I wanted to at least start the pattern before I really invested into this video, just in case when I got going it was one. But we have an arm. The pattern did work out. The wording is a little off in some spots. That could have just been the pattern writer. It's fine. It was very easy to figure out. But we do have an arm. Now I just have to make another one and a whole other rest of a doll. But so far so good. Now I will say, I am making this with a G-hook and 4 yarn. So, you know, a standard just acrylic yarn. You know, like I said, I think some of it's just Red Heart, Super Saver, nothing crazy. And this was supposed to be made originally with like thread. I mean, even with 4 yarn, it is like an arm is only like 3 inches. So with the thread, this would have been microscopic, and I'm getting too old to be able to do crochet like that. So come with me, we'll get this other arm made and see how far we can make it. And there we have it. 2 little arms. Perfect timing too, because my lunch break is almost over, so I gotta get back to work. But there we go. The next section's the legs. So hopefully they go just as quick, because the legs just go into the body and then the arms are attached. So hopefully they go just as quick, and maybe this doll won't take as long as I'm worried it's going to, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. I've thought that before, and then projects have taken me forever. So I will get back to work, and then we will get back on this in a little bit. Hey guys. So you saw me working on the legs yesterday, of course. Ooh, jeez. Guess we're gonna let it go. And I kept working. We have made it this far. I made a mistake, of course, and already realized it. I put her shoes on backwards. It's an easy mistake. Technically, this would be the front. This is how they're facing. But as we can clearly see, so she's going to have shoes on backwards. It's fine. The person getting this is not going to care at all that her shoes are on backwards. She's just going to be excited that she's getting it. It's one of those things where you probably wouldn't notice other than this just little spot right there. You probably wouldn't even notice if you didn't make the mistake, but I made the mistake. So, but we are only 2 rows away from adding the arms, and then we do another row of orange once we add the arms, and then we switch to her skin tone. So then we will start working on the neck and the head. A few things with the pattern so far. I know at first I was really worried it was AI, purely because of just the pattern in general. And in some of the wording through it, I did look at the Instagram of the pattern artist, and I believe why some of the wording might be a little off is just a language barrier. Most of their stuff is in Spanish, I believe, and this has been translated to English. So I think some of it was just that. There are a few things in here that you have to kind of realize on your own. One of them is there's no stuffing written into the pattern. One thing we have to remember is this pattern is written to be tiny. So honestly, I believe that if you were to make this in the size that it originally talks about, you wouldn't even need stuffing because of just the thread and the hook size and things like that. So that is something. If you do upsize it like I am and use a 4-point or a 4mm hook, then you're going to have to stuff it. That it's big. I mean, the other one was probably really only going to end up being this big. So that is something you just have to be mindful and remember why you're working on it. And it's just a tiny bit of stuffing just to give it a little stiffness to it. I'm just going to get these next couple rounds finished and get onto the head. Maybe we can actually finish the body tonight. I'm not sure. I do have other projects I've been working on too. But this has been fun. I am surprised this has gone as fast as it really has. So let's get back to it. So we are done with the body. She's so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. So we're done with her body. We're going on to the head. I have to take a break. I gotta run outside and deal with some animals. But yeah, I don't know if I'll get it done tonight. I might try to work on the head after dinner and see if I can at least get that far. And then basically it's head, hair, and then we're gonna make her coat. It also has the pattern to make her bag too. So let's, one thing at a time, let's get a head done and then go from there. Hey everyone, we got her head done. Now I'm not using any stabilizers in it, so like any wire or anything, so she's got some wobble to her. But head's done. Here she is so far. Now it's time to work on the hair. Hey guys, so still, hold on, let me figure out a little bit. Still working on Coraline's hair. I had to read it like twice, and you know what's so horrible is it's not badly written. I just wasn't able to comprehend what it was telling me the first 2 times. But now that I have it figured out, it's you're doing a chain and then you're doing half doubles back to the, you know, the little like hair plate at the top of the head. And once this is all done, we sew it to the top of the head and sew it down. So with that being said, let me get back to it. I'm going to tell myself I'm halfway through, even though I don't think I'm that far yet. It's tedious. It's tedious because it's chain 26, half double crochet back, chain 26, half double. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you get to a point in a project where you're ready to work on something else, it can make even the most basic thing seem tedious. That's, I think, where I am. I'm ready for this one to be done. And I mean, I have to finish the hair and then I need to make her coat. So I'm almost done. Like the whole doll part is done except her hair. So let me just hush and get back to this. And if you see this back here, One of the other joys of living on a small farm is there's little baby quail, and sometimes you'll see them, running around in the bottom part in the background. They're only 2 days old, so they're itty bitty. But if you see something behind me, that is what that is. So let me hush. Let me get back to this so we can get this part done and figure out what we're gonna make next. We finally finished her toupee. Now we have to attach it. Hey, good morning. So, good morning. We got her wig done last night. So let's get this sewn on. So then all we have left to do is make her coat. Giving very Medusa-like right now. Okay, so I had to take out and change how I was laying her hair. Because in the pictures, and I don't ever think about the fact that a picture's potentially inverted, it shows her swoop going one way. And in the pattern, you make 3 of the like hair strands longer than the rest. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together. So when I was sewing it down, I was like, I don't think these go this way. They don't. Clearly, because when you swoop them the other way, they fit perfect. So luckily, I paid attention to that before I got too deep in. But yeah, so note to self, the picture's inverted. So the swoop goes the opposite way of what you think. But all right, let's get back to sewing this down. All right, so I got her hair sewed on. It's giving a little bit Linda Belcher. But it is what it is. It's because for some reason, I mean, I followed the instructions and I made them as long as it says it should be. We all know how gauge and stuff is. They're longer. She has them sewn like tight to the head all the way down. If I was to do that, okay. If I was to do that, they would wrap the face. So I left the little bit at the bottom. It is fine. It is fine. Or at least I'll keep telling myself that. But the hair is on. So now all we have to do is make her coat and her bag if we have time. So let's get to that. So, working on the coat. I got an arm done, tried it on her, fits great, but ran into a lovely issue to run into when you are this close to the end of a project. All I have left is the hood and the other sleeve, and I have nowhere close to enough yarn. And I went and got in my stash, and I do not have another bright yellow, which means I'm gonna have to go to the store and buy a skein of yarn, which kind of sucks because this video is already kind of pushing it with getting it done in time to be up in time. We'll see. It might be a day late. If you're seeing this a day late, I'm sorry. I ran out and I didn't get a chance to go buy more to finish it. So, with that being said, to be continued as soon as I can make it to the store. Hey guys, so I found another yellow. I got into my stash and found one. It is not exactly the same, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's close enough. Let's put it that way. Like, I know you're going to be able to see the difference. You know, like, this is just, it's just different enough. But it's yellow, and I didn't have to go buy any. So your video should still potentially be up on time, hopefully. Editing Christina got this done and got this up on time. So I got arms done. All that's left is the hood. And then if I have the time, I'm gonna make the bag. Another thing I think I might do, let me grab her. So I told you I have like Linda Belcher hair going on here. So I when I was making the hair, I was not like measuring it to the size of the head that I made. Because of that, my strands ended up longer than the head. So what I might do is I might go through and kind of split what's left and sew it down and see if that helps the look and gets rid of the bob. So the inverted bob. So yeah, so let me get the hood on this, and then hopefully we have time to maybe fix the hair a little bit so it looks a little bit better. Still have to do, we're supposed to do her ears. There is a thing for her ears, and they just kind of tuck into the hair strands, so that should only take a second. I think it's only like 2 rows. And then she is supposed to get a like sewn on nose and then use a blusher effect to give her some cheeks. So yeah, one thing at a time. Let's get the hood done. well. 3 different shades of yellow. In the camera, you can't really tell. I mean, you can see it there, but it's fine. I'm not going to fight about it. If the person who's getting this doesn't like it, I can remake it when I go buy more yarn. But I think I'm going to need to steam the coat some because she is stiff. And I mean, as you can tell, like it's wonky because it's stiff. So I might go ahead and steam it. And yeah, the coat's done though. So I need to get my ends weaved in. I need to fix the hair still. I do want to get that done. I need to do a single crochet around the edge of this too, real quick, but that'll only take a minute. And then I'm done. So, yay. Hey guys, so next day, I didn't get a chance to film last night, so this is definitely going up at least a day late, but it's okay. But guess what? She's finished. There she is. I love it. I love how it turned out. It had its moments, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. I even fixed her hair so it sits better. I ended up not doing the full face. I think it looks better this way. Own opinion. If I was as talented as the person who wrote the pattern, I would, but I am not when it comes down to things like that. So I went ahead and just left it with the eyes. I think it works totally fine with just the eyes. But yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out. I hope she loves it. I'm pretty sure she will. So a few things with this one. The pattern is easy enough. I would not say it is beginner friendly though, so that is something to keep in mind if you go to do it. If you are a beginner and want to do this pattern, I'm going to suggest to you to size up like I did and go ahead and go with a larger size hook and, you know, larger yarn and things like that, because that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, so that's the one thing. The pattern is written pretty well. There are a few, you know, like I've said, a few discrepancies through it, I believe just typos at the end of the day, or potentially something as simple as like a language barrier. Like I said, when I was looking at the creators' Instagram, most of their stuff is in Spanish. So, but yeah, thank you for making this far with me. If you've made it this far, this was a longer video, but it was a little bit more of an, you know, an in-depth build to building anything. Amigurumi, even upsizing it like this, it takes time. It never seems like it should, but it 100% does. So thank you for making it this far. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing things like this. The Mystery Makes series is going to be going on for a while, so I hope you're enjoying it. And yeah, once again, thank you. Like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys when we are picking our next make. Bye.